Stop watching the demo. Watch the agents. Before we talk about models, look at what Gartner is pricing in. Here's the promise. I'll show you who builds the agents and who gets stuck with the risk. In the next few minutes, I'll explain what happened, what it means, and what to watch. Agentic AI took off in 2026. Agents negotiate deals on their own. Gartner forecasts 40% of enterprise workflows turn agentic by December. Decisions shift from people to code. I've seen this pattern in real operations. DeFi protocols saw volumes jump from agent-led trades. That squeezes out middlemen who rely on manual checks. Verification layers hit choke points. Pressure builds unless something changes. Who captures the value? Adoption rates climbed among Fortune 500 firms. Cash flows reroute to platform owners. Two forces collide. Big tech's centralized models face open-source distributed agents. Hardware backlogs signal stock upside if scaling holds. That's the bill. Pressure shows up there. Power grids snap first if this holds. Risk does not disappear. It moves. Opportunity cost hits laggards hardest. Agents front-run market moves in milliseconds. Automated liability clauses decide outcomes. Follow the cash line to see the story change. Enterprise paths split. Efficiency seekers subsidize agent stacks for cost cuts. Regulators stall others with compliance hurdles. Blockchain IDs could absorb trust overhead. Incentives point one way, though I might miss something. Constraint decides the winner, not the demo. Deployment crawls if energy assumptions break. Real cost comes from what teams stop building. Startups without deep pockets backfire. Three moving parts define the shift. Agent autonomy handles multi-step tasks like supply chain bids. Loops close faster, from order to fulfillment in hours. Value capture favors agent infrastructure owners. Incentives align for hyperscalers like AWS. They absorb compute demands while others pay premiums. Strip away the narrative. Agents automate routine finance ops by next year. Bill shifts to energy providers. Power consumption leaks into grid constraints. EU's AI Act enforcement looms in Q3. Non-compliant deployments stall. Who holds a risk? Consumer scenarios branch out. Retail agents personalize shopping, boosting conversions. Privacy risks pile up without opt-out controls. Federated learning might block data leaks. Why would they? Not just can they. Venture funding poured into agent startups last quarter. Traditional software margins get front-run. Self-evolving code bases change the game. Human oversight becomes the weak link if this holds. Adoption fragments across borders unless regulations adapt. Risk moves to the weakest link. Enterprise bottlenecks center on integration costs. Legacy systems drag down migrations. Implication hits IT budgets first. Two buckets separate winners. Custom agent builders absorb early advantages. Platform leasers subsidize leaders. That's the trap. Opportunity cost mounts for holdouts. OpenAI's Agent API launch reroutes developer flows. Innovators stop pursuing other paths to integrate this. That cracks the story. Whole chain snaps if scalability assumptions break. I watch teams get trapped by this exact constraint. Whoever collects first wins. Scenarios for next year fork. Full agent economy boosts GDP in tech hubs. Partial adoption leaks value to unregulated zones. Stagnation piles up if antitrust blocks mergers. Bottlenecks in talent decide pace. AI engineers command premium salaries. Non-tech sectors stall. Data sovereignty laws bind them all. Risk moves to compliance teams. Zero-knowledge proofs might peel privacy layers. Constraint decides the winner, not the demo. Small businesses flip to agent-first models if trend holds. Unskilled labor markets backfire. Agent bidding wars cut procurement times. Inventory piles up less, freeing capital. Value leaks to data feed controllers. Manufacturers push toward agent alliances. They snap efficiencies while competitors drag. Agents handle B2B negotiations by 2028. Bill lands on outdated ERP systems. Integration leaks eat upgrade budgets. CES 2026 showcase exposes hardware limits. Who eats the integration bill? Investor scenarios diverge. VC stack bets on agent middleware. Hedge funds weigh energy futures risks. Privacy backfires stall consumer trust. One bottleneck persists: quantum-resistant encryption. Cross-border agents thrive if this holds. Fragmentation piles up unless standards unify. Who gets stuck with risk? Healthcare agents optimize claims, cutting denials. Savings reroute to providers. Patients absorb fewer errors. Integrated systems snap ahead. Fragmented one stall on HIPAA choke points. Opportunity cost bites slow movers. Differential privacy peels exposure. Why would they? Funding rounds hit for health AI agents in H2. Legacy vendors get front run. Adaptive learning loops lock wins. Adoption surges unevenly if regulations lag. Hospitals stop upgrading to fund this. That cracks the story. I've debugged systems that fail this way. Whoever gets paid first wins. Global scenarios branch. US leads with deregulation, boosting innovation. Europe weighs compliance, leaking talent. China subsidizes state agents, capturing value. Emerging markets stall on gaps. Bandwidth bottlenecks decide winners. 5G coverage commands adoption premiums. Rural economies drag. Geopolitical chip access overrides. Risk moves to supply lines. Stop. Platforms collect tolls on agent transactions. Margins absorb from end users. Monopolies snap in place if this holds. Competition leaks away unless open standards emerge. This is not a boom. It's a bill. In ops, the model isn't the failure point. The handoff is. Energy demand strain grids beyond forecasts. One study shows data centers doubling power draw by 2028. That forces utilities to ration capacity during peaks. Enterprises face blackouts during high-load agent runs. Put in one sentence. Grid constraints turn agent promises into downtime costs. Integration hurdles compound the issue. APIs mismatch in 60% of legacy setups. Teams spend months patching connections. The trade is simple. Efficiency gains evaporate in rework expenses. Here's what breaks first. Handover protocols fail under real traffic. I've led migrations where agents stalled on data silos. Compliance layers add another twist. GDPR audits delay rollouts by quarters. Fines pile up for unchecked agent decisions. Adoption accelerates only where regs bend. A material shift happens in deregulated zones. Talent shortages slow everything else. Engineers pivot to agent roles, leaving gaps. Non-tech firms subsidize training premiums. The version that matters puts risk on ops teams. One mechanism flips it: modular agent frameworks. They slot into existing stacks without full overhauls. If uptake grows, integration bills shrink. Unless vendors lock in, costs persist. Put in one sentence. Modularity cuts the handoff risk. Energy innovations might ease grid pressure. Renewable tie-ins offset agent compute spikes. Pilot programs show 25% efficiency lifts. The trade is simple. Sustainability subsidies reroute the bill. Here's what breaks first. Policy lags on incentives. I've consulted on setups where power caps killed pilots. Compliance evolves with agent-specific clauses. Frameworks like ISO standards guide liability. Adoption is accelerating in certified paths. A meaningful share of enterprises lead there. Others trail, absorbing delays. The handoff decides the pace. Startups without deep pockets face backfire. Enterprises endure blackouts in peak agent loads. That throttles runs without warning. In peak load, the risk is throttling, not magic uptime. One report details server farms hitting capacity walls. Utilities impose caps, forcing scheduled downtimes. Put in one sentence. Peak demands expose grid vulnerabilities fast. Integration timelines stretch beyond plans. Custom code bridges eat developer hours. The trade is simple. Seamless handoffs require upfront investments. Here's what breaks first. Data format mismatches in hybrid environments. I've fixed pipelines where agents hung on legacy inputs. Compliance checks multiply the delays. Automated audits flag 40% of initial deploys. Firms pivot to compliance zones for speed. A material shift favors agile regulators. Talent pools dry up in rigid markets. Specialists command bids in open fields. The version that matters rewards quick adapters. One approach eases it: hybrid agent models. They blend cloud and on-prem for resilience. If adoption spreads, blackout risks drop. Unless infrastructure lags, gaps widen. Put in one sentence: hybrids buffer the energy bill. Sustainability mandates push green compute. Incentives align for solar-backed data hubs. Trials yield 30% cost offsets. The trade is simple. Green ties subsidize the surge. Here's what breaks first. Subsidy shortfalls in emerging grids. I've seen deployment stall on power permits. Liability frameworks mature slowly. Ensures price agent risks at premiums. Adoption quickens with clear clauses. A meaningful share captures early wins. Laggards pay the compliance premium. The grid sets the real limit. Now you know what changed and who pays for it. Subscribe for evidence-first takes on AI and markets without the hype. Comment the one variable you're watching right now, and I'll cover the best ones next.